I really think that YouTube is an awesome way to learn. It's one of the best inventions and methods of how to share information, how to share expertise, how to share ideas of our lifetime. And so I pretty much don't watch TV other than live sports. And I watch a ton of YouTube. And so I'm constantly watching YouTube channels on things that I find interesting, many of which are sports cards. And there are a lot of different sports card YouTube channels out there. I think everyone should make one. I think everyone should have one. And in fact, one of the things I'm planning on doing soon is just sharing some of the things that I've done to create my channel. So if there's anyone out there who wants to create one as well, they can just kind of see what I've done. And if there's anything I can do to help you do that, I want to share any knowledge that I've learned along the way. But as I look at some of the big channels, for example, I look at the channel of, Sports Card Investor. It's one of the bigger ones out there for good reason. He has great production. He does a really good job with his content. He gets great interviews. He gets big names. He has a lot of money that he's using. And so he deserves a lot of the attention that his channel gets. But I was looking through it and he posted this video about how the card market was back. And I was just like, was it ever really gone? So I immediately started thinking, was it gone? Or was it just modern stuff that was gone? What I decided to do was dive into the data of vintage cards from the 50s, 60s, and 70s and see over the last year what has happened to cards. This video is going to look at the data of the last 12 months and also the last 2 years of what has happened with the vintage market. Is it down? Is it up? Is it flat? I didn't know what to expect. I had some ideas on what it might say. So obviously, whenever I go in not knowing what it's going to say, I'm always surprised. So check this out. Tell me what you think. I think that this kind of at least gave me an answer on what has been happening to the vintage market over the last year and 2 years. Please consider subscribing to my channel. So as we look in the 1950s, I chose 5 cards. I tried to choose a few higher end and lower end cards, and I tried to do it throughout the entire decade. So these are the 5 cards that I chose. And if you look first, I have this 1952 Bob Feller. And this card in the fourth quarter of 2021 versus the fourth quarter of 2022, it went up by 70%. Now the chart at the bottom shows the trend of the last 2 years. So right here is the middle, which is about 1 year ago, and then over here is 2 years ago. So you can see an upward trend over the last 2 years. Now, the Yogi Berra 1953 in the fourth quarter of 2021 was 325. And then a year later, it's a little over 425. And again, you see an upward trend over 2 years. So all this talk about the market crashing for cards, but these first 2 cards, they've been going up in value, not just over the last 1 year, but over the last 2. Next is a 55 Ernie Banks, his second year card. The card's up 12% over the last year. And if you look at the trend over the last 2 years, you continue to see an upward trend. Now, occasionally you'll see these little spikes up and down. I don't get too worried about those. Those could be anomalies. So we see another upward trend with the Roberto Clemente 56, his second year card. And it's down about 27%, just like this Hank Aaron is down about 10%. But again, we see sort of an upward trend over 2 years. So maybe the fourth quarter of 2021 was a little bit of a spike up, and that's why it is down over the last 12 months. But you see this kind of trend line going in the upward direction over 2 years. So 3 of the 5 cards from the 50s went up last year, and the ones that went down didn't go down that much. 60s, I have a 62 Lou Brock. Now, the 50s were all in 5s, the 60s are all in 6s. And again, you see the Lou Brock. There's this one weird spike here. That probably means there was some sort of anomaly there, like maybe it was a part of a lot, so it showed up differently. Showed up as a Lou Brock, but it was several cards, or 2 of them, or 3 of them, or something. But again, an upward trend. The 64 Pete Rose, which was mentioned a lot by comments in the comparing rookie cards versus second-year cards. If you haven't checked that out yet, check that video out. That was done a few days ago. But we have this upward trend again, and it's up 18% over the last 12 months. And if you were to go over the last 2 years, look at this constant upward direction. Now, the Joe Morgan is down quite a bit. This is the biggest card that's down a lot. So right here at about a year ago, there were a couple of big spikes. So it may not be that the card is consistently down, but the fourth quarter of 2021 may have just been a spike. And so it normalized, and it looks like it's way down. Let's look at this Rod Carew. Again, a second-year Rod Carew. Cool card with the trophy and everything. Again, about a year ago, you can see some spiking, but again, an upward trend. And then the 69 Nolan Ryan, his first single card. Look at that upward trend. I mean, card after card after card is an upward trend. Again, 3 out of the 5 cards are going up. 2 down. You can almost make the argument that the Rod Carew is flat. When we look at the 1970s, again, the first card we're going to look at over here to the left is the second-year Thurman Munson. Again, an upward trend. It's up 27% from quarter 4 of 2021 to quarter 4 of 2022, just as this Winfield is up also about 15% over that time. Now, the George Brett second-year card is down a little bit. It's about a $100 card. It's down to 93 or so in quarter 4 of 2022. But again, it's not like there's major trouble for the card. It again is a mostly upward trend. We might just be in a little bit of a dip, or quarter 4 of 2021 might have been a little bit of a spike, throwing it off a little. When we look over here at the Ozzie Smith, again, now the Ozzie Smith about a year ago had quite a spike. There was a lot of movement in there. I don't know. I didn't remember hearing anything in the news about why that card would have been jumping around. But again, upward trends for the Nolan Ryan and the Ozzie Smith. So here are all 15 cards on one page. And you'll notice of the 15 cards, 9 of them went up over the 12 months, and just 6 of them went down. But when you look at the ones that went up versus the ones that went down, the ones that are down, it's like 7%, 4%, 11%. It's not a huge amount other than the Clemente and the Joe Morgan. But when you compare it to the ones going up, they're going up 15, 20, 25, 30%. So again, the 50s are 5s, the 60s are 6s, and the 70s are 7s. But consistently, it seems that more are going up than down, and the ones that are going down is not by much. So, I mean, here you got 7%. I mean, these numbers do not concern me as a collector. They wouldn't really concern me as an investor. Now, is modern stuff way down? Yeah, modern stuff does seem to be way down. I would be freaking out if I had a lot of money in modern stuff. But the volatility isn't really applying to the vintage market. Now, when we look here in the 50s, the average is up 15% of the 5 cards that I just randomly chose. The 60s is pretty much flat. They're mostly up over, other than that one Joe Morgan rookie. And then over on the right, in the 70s, it's averaging about 10% up. So, I mean,
And again, this is just in the last year. So in the year that everybody is freaking out about values and what's happening to the market, the 50s are up 15%, the 70s are up 10%, and the 60s are mostly flat. And 9 of the 15 cards are up, 6 of them are down, but only a couple of them are down much of note at all. So I don't really think it's that the market is back. I don't think the vintage market was ever gone. What do you guys think? Let me know what you think about this whole thing. And I think the vintage market's stable.